Alright, hello everyone. We're going to do a little bit of graphing, and then what we're going to be doing is Cartesian plane, how to plot points, and later on we're going to deal with linear equations, how to graph the equation of a line. The Cartesian plane contains two straight lines intersecting at right angle. So if you notice, you have a vertical axis, which is the vertical line, which is called, or you could also call it the y-axis, and then you put a y here at the top. The middle, where the two lines intersect, is exactly 90 degrees, and then this is the horizontal axis, or the horizontal line, and it's called the x-axis. Now notice the labeling. From the center going upwards is positive numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Normally it is 1 centimeter, 1 unit. So every centimeter that we go, it's 1 centimeter, 2, another centimeter, 3, and so on. And then downwards you have the negative numbers: negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, and so on. The horizontal axis, or the x-axis, notice that it goes to the right. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Positive numbers. To the left, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and so on until you finish the graph sheet, or the amount of numbers that you require. Another thing that we want to take a look is the origin. It says the point of intersection of these two axes is called the origin and is denoted by O, which is 0, 0. Now the origin, if there's something that tells you it passes through the origin, it just means that it's passing here at the center, in the middle, right? And then here you call it the origin. It is O and it is 0, 0, right? It has 0 for the x, 0 for the y. We also need to identify some points. Now notice that what you have here is, it says the point of intersection. Oh, sorry, this is the previous one. Yeah, this is the previous one that we saw. But apart from the origin, you also have quadrants. Now notice that the Cartesian plane is going to be divided into 4 different squares. This one here is called quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Now notice what will happen here. It says that if you notice, if they give you a point where you're given maybe 4 and 5, this is positive and this is positive, then it falls here and it is quadrant 1. Here this says that the first number is going to be negative and the second one is going to be positive. So let's say you get negative 2, 4. Negative 2, 4 is going to be up here, so that's going to be in quadrant 2. Quadrant 3 says the two of them will be negative. So if you have negative 2 and negative 6, then negative 2, negative 6 falls somewhere around here. Notice that it falls in quadrant 3. Quadrant 4, or fourth quadrant, it is a positive number, then a negative number. So you would have something like 5, negative 1. So 5 here, negative 1 here, so your point ends up to be here. So that is what we have in terms of Cartesian plane. Now we want to take a look at at graphing some points. Okay. So here we have a graph. Notice that you have your origin here, quadrant 1 here, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Notice also that we did not use the entire graph, so they were equal numbers, because here if you notice -10, -10, this reaches way up to 12, and this goes up to 16 or 17. I don't have them to piece here. But on the side here it says plot the following points on the grid below using a ruler to connect points A to B, then to C, then to C, etc., etc. Connect point U back to point A. What animal did you draw? So let's plot points. Now notice point A. Point A is 10, 10, 10, 7, sorry. Now, if you remember, in which quadrant would this fall? This would be quadrant 1. Positive number, positive number. Notice why it falls on quadrant 1. 10, 10, 10, not 10, 10, 10, 7. Here. That is A. Right? Point B, 6, 9. That again is a positive number and another positive number, so that means it falls right here, and it is going to be point B, 6. So the first number is the X. This is your X axis, so find 6. 6 is here. Then you go up, because it is a positive 9, you're going up. If it was a -9, then you go down. So find 6. 6 is right here, and you go up to 9 here. You have B. C, 3, 9. So 3 is here, and then you go up to 9. And that's going to be point C. Then you have point D, 3, 8. So 3 is here, then you go up to 8. You see what we're doing? So you will be plotting all the points. If you want, you could follow what this one is saying, connect A to B immediately, and what you will do is you will be going point A to B, point B to C, point C to D, and so on. Then we move on to E. E is -2, 8. Now notice the difference, -2, 8. Which quadrant will that fall? It won't be here, because this one is positive and a positive, like the ones A to D. So this one is -2 and 8, a negative number and then a positive number. If you remember, negative number and a positive number, that's going to be in quadrant 2. So that means my point will fall in here. So go back. That was -2, 8. -2 is right here. Then you go up to 8. To 8. That's going to be E. Then you have F, -6, 5, again in second quadrant. So that's going to be -6 here. And then we go up to 5. That's that there, F. We have G, -7, 3. We find -7. -7 is right here. And then we go up to 3. And to 3. And that's what we have it here. Okay? -7 up to 3. Then you have -6, 4. -6 is right here. Then you go up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is going to be H. HI. -7, -7. So another change. Notice negative, positive, positive, positive. Now this is negative, negative. Where would this fall? Let's go back. Negative, negative now falls here. Third quadrant. So whenever they ask you in which quadrant does the point fall, you could follow easily. 2 positive falls on quadrant 1. A negative and a positive falls on quadrant 2. 2 negatives falls on quadrant 3. Right? So that means this should fall here. So we have I, -7, 7, that's -7 here. And we go down to 7, that is that I. J, -4, -7, -4, -7. K, -2, 4, -2, -4. And then we have on the other side, we continue. So let's connect all the points here. From D goes to E, from E goes to F, F to G, then G to H, then we have H to I, then I to J, then J to K. Right? What do we have? Looks like a dog or something like that. Let's continue with the points. We have here now L, a positive and a negative now. It changes again, so let's see what in which quadrant will that be. Positive and a negative, so it's going to fall right here in quadrant 4 or 4th quadrant. So let's start it. 6, -4, 6, -4. Then you have 6, -7. Then you have 9, -7, 9, -7. Then you have 9, -2, 9, -2. Then you have 11, 0, 11, 0. So if you notice 11, 0, you find where 11 is right here. But since it has 0, you do not go up or you do not go down, so it's going to stay right here. That's letter P there. Then you have 12, -5. So 12, then you go down to -5. That is here. Then you have 14, -5, 14, -5. Then you have 16, 2. So 16, 2 is going to be right here. Then you have 15, -2. 15, -2. Then you have 13, -4. 13, -4. I hope I have all of them correct. Now what should that be? Now after we finish, so it's U. It says from U, you kick it back to A. So let's draw lines. K to L, L to M, M to N, M to O, O to P, P to Q, Q to R, R to S, S to T, T to U, and U to A. So what do we have? We have an elephant. Right? So you just go back, write what you found, and the animal that you found was an elephant. Right. Below this you will find a worksheet where you guys can practice and be able to plot points. I hope this helped, and please do your assignment and submit it to me.